The reason for releasing a brand new project this year was simply because it's me expressing my creative freedom. This is honestly the first project that I felt free enough to do what I wanted without anybody over my shoulder saying, say it this way, say it that way, put this in there, put that in there. And I also felt free enough to write and arrange the songs in a way that felt true to my core without anybody saying, oh, you're singing too high, or you're singing too low, or you're not singing strong enough, you're not singing soft enough, blah, 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 blah. Whether this project goes commercially viral or gains some notoriety, or it just goes triple plastic and flops, this is a personal and a professional statement for me. I did it my way, and the creator within me is proud and satisfied. The first song that I recorded for this EP, the Awakened EP, is In My Own Way. I wrote this song in early 2019. This song is personal for me because it's about healing. There are a lot of traditional thoughts about healing, but healing is deep and it's a very messy process. It's a forever process, a pathless path, because there's maintenance work, but it's also because there's always something going on. Healing is an invitation to be brutally honest with yourself about your own traumas, those dark, shadowy spaces within you that you sometimes hide, or that sometimes get exposed or compromised, sometimes against your own will. But many times, we default to finger pointing, blaming this one or that one, or complaining, or asking a million plus questions to avoid facing and feeling the pain. Facing and feeling the pain of the fear of the unknown, and it makes you suffer through it all rather than flow through it all, with resistance, with the least amount of resistance. And from my own experience, a counterintuitive approach always works. To put it simply, when you ignore the pain, you get more of the pain. When you feel the pain, you heal the pain. You see, the pain, the hurt, whatever the bad feeling is meant to be seen, is meant to be felt. It wants to be heard. It wants to be welcomed in by you and you alone, not anybody else, so that it can provide you with the joy, the wisdom, for the next best step in your life. And it really boils down to you just surrendering and trusting your own process. Yeah.
When I'm lost, when everything that I've ever stood for is all collapsed, and nothing makes sense to me anymore, I'll make room for all those bad feelings to be felt, 'cause they just wanna pass through. My mind is foggy and busy getting the best of me. Body's exhausted. It seems to be no rest for me. I'll make room for all those bad feelings to be felt, 'cause they just wanna pass through. So I'll keep breathing, I'll keep trusting, I'll keep celebrating. I'm healing in my own way. I'll keep breathing, trusting, I'll keep celebrating. I'm healing in my own way. My old life is falling away. New life is being birthed today. I may not understand it all right now, but with my feet planted firm on the ground, firm on the ground, I'll keep breathing, I'll keep trusting, I'll keep celebrating. I'm healing in my own way. I'll keep breathing, I'll keep on trusting, I'll keep on celebrating. It may not feel so good right now, but it's all working for my good anyhow. I'm healing, yeah, I'm healing. I'm healing, you're healing, we are healing. There is grace in our pace, in our own way.
Well, first of all, I secretly recorded this, or the demos for this project, in quarantine, in my box of a room in New York City, on my MacBook Pro, in GarageBand. If nothing else, when I'm determined, I'm pretty resourceful. What inspired the Awakened EP and what is it all about? Well, it means to have woken up to the truth of who one truly is within one's own self, a spiritual awakening, if you will. In other words, this project is simply a reminder that the love, the validation, the peace, the feeling of home and safety that we sometimes get stuck seeking outside of ourselves in external things is already within us, period. Big dot. You get to the feeling of home when you're able to be still. I personally tune into it through stillness meditation. You know, the global pandemic, the quarantine, you know, to me was a collective opportunity for all of us to just be still, pause from the busyness of our modern day life and reflect, to go within. For some, it immediately awakens those feelings of love, bliss, validation. And for others, it's the most excruciating experience because perhaps the body's not used to it. But the more you tune in and the more you release your resistance to it, then the peace that surpasses all understanding, the feeling of home and safety just covers you and grounds you. Yeah.
Wandered off to find your purpose, but then you wandered off too far. Went so deep beneath the surface that life began to look bizarre. Maybe the way to see the light was to boldly walk through the night. Closer, getting closer. Just remember the stories of homecoming glories. Look inside and find you're already home. home. You're already home. You're already home. You're already home. Here and now is where you are, and this is not where it all ends. Been through a lot to get this far, and a new story begins. Maybe the way you saw the light was to boldly walk through the night. Closer, got closer. You remember the stories of homecoming glories. Looked inside and found you're already home. You suffer when you focus too much on one thing rather than the oneness in everything. You'll recover, you'll always recover when you remember the stories of homecoming glories. Look inside and find you're already home. Don't look any further. It's already within you. Remember.
Strong faith. I'm going to get a little deep here. You know, although I get the idea of strong faith, sometimes it's not very clear. You know, when we talk about strong faith, it's almost as if we make faith out to be only as strong as we are certain of what God is able to do for us. In other words, if the strength of my faith is based on how certain I am of what God will do for me, then I'll end up setting myself up for disappointment every time. And in that context, my faith would be weak, you know, from the disappointment that God didn't come through for me in the way that I wanted God to. But the only certainty in life is that life is uncertain. And things won't always work in my time frame. So it's the unconditional love of God for me, though. And therefore, the strength of my faith is simply a commitment to that unconditional love in the middle of uncertainty. And from that angle, my faith is pretty strong. Unconditional love is a state of being for me. How you think, how you feel, how you behave plays an important role in unconditional love. The feeling of this kind of love is one of wellness, of ease, of joy, of bliss, of unity, like the warm embrace of a lover or a friend, or a nice relaxing night gazing at the stars, or showing kindness to someone who's less fortunate than you, without expecting anything in return, or just gratitude for the breath flowing in and out of your body. That's what it's all about. We're all meant to capture this state of being here and now, and in the now moments beyond. And when you wake up to more of this on the inside of you, then it's going to be reflected back to you on the outside.
Just remember the stories of home.